Hey everybody, it's Eric, 80s Horror Man here, and welcome to day 8 for my 12 Days of Christmas Horror. Today, I'll be doing a movie that was done in 1987, and the movie that I'm talking about is the sequel to the very first controversial horror from Silent Night, Deadly Night. Well, this is Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. So, in this one, you got Billy's brother, Ricky, who's now like in a mental hospital, and the shrink, I think it says to use a tape recorder to record his story about his brother Billy and what Ricky's life was like growing up after he was out of the orphanage. So Ricky ends up explaining to the shrink of what his brother Billy was like and what happened to him and stuff. And when you watch the movie, it kind of like mostly shows like flashbacks from the very first Silent Night, Deadly Night movie, and it almost feels like that you're watching the first one, then part 2. But then it also shows like what happened in Ricky's life after he was out on his own, after he was out of the orphanage. Like where he ended up seeing a loan shark beating up some guy, and next year gets into loan shark's business. Loan shark takes a swing at him and apparently no effect on Ricky. Next thing you know, Ricky grabs the loan shark by the neck, raises him high off the ground, grabs the umbrella and just sticks the umbrella through the loan shark and just hits the switch, and it pops the umbrella open from behind. And I thought that was a pretty neat death scene there. But then Ricky also talks about how he ends up meeting this girl who he thought that was just perfect, but turns out that she already did it with some other guy who was like a complete douchebag by the name of Chip, who's, like I said, he's just a complete douchebag. But the most iconic scenes, like after he goes around going on a murderous rampage, just killing every single neighbor in town, and especially how he's got that famous line where he says "garbage day." He and just goes around on a murderous rampage. But then that's when Ricky decides to escape from the mental hospital to get even with Mother Superior, who he holds responsible for the death of his brother Billy from what happened to him in the first one. So that's pretty much the synopsis for part 2 of Silent Night, Deadly Night. And yes, this was also put up by Scream Factory as well, just like how they did the first one. And this movie does have special features where it's got the audio commentary with the director and co-writer and actors Eric Freeman and James Newman. Sleigh Bells Ring Again, the story of Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2, featuring interviews with the co-writer, director, Lee Harry, actors Eric Freeman, James Newman, Elizabeth Caden, Dale Gubal, Kenny McCabe, and makeup effects artist Christopher Biggs. Garbage Days Are Here Again, a look at the film's locations. Ricky Today, a short film featuring a 2018 interview with Vicky Caldwell. I Don't Sleep, an extended interview with makeup effects artist, audio commentary with the director, the co-writer, and the theatrical trailer. So that's pretty much the special features that's on this Blu-ray for Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. And again, when you watch this one, it feels like you're mostly watching the first one all over again because it shows like a lot of flashbacks to the first one, but you do watch a little bit of part 2. And when I first saw this movie, I didn't have a problem with it because, I mean, I end up enjoying it. I did end up liking it. So, Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 from 1987. Check it out for those who hasn't seen it. And if you're a fan of the Silent Night, Deadly Night movies, check out part 2. But if you don't want to watch part 2 just because it's mostly, yeah, like you're watching the first one again, then don't even bother watching it then. So, again, if you want to watch it, go right on ahead because, like I said, I didn't have a problem with it at all whatsoever. Alright guys, so that's it for day 8 for my 12 Days of Christmas Horror. What do you guys think? Have you seen this movie before? If so, please let me know in the comments down below. I'd like to hear your thoughts. Also, like I said, did you like the rest of the sequels? If so, which ones did you like? Which ones that you didn't like? Also, stay tuned for some more videos for the 12 Days of Christmas Horror later.